Yeah, recording. Yep. Anyway, so video. Antikantavad made another video about the me and me Piro argument. Just sort of, in a general sense, talking about this difficulty that human beings have in arguing, debating, resolving conflict. And he brought up the Olympics and the Greeks and all that crap, which is always fun. Yeah, the metaphor things. Throughout history, it's always been a big problem, people's conflicts. They have whole wars over, somebody being offended, somebody being rude to somebody else, and, 100,000 people pay for that rudeness. All that should be something we should be able to rise above. And I'm an advocate of that, okay? I'm not the one who's saying, hey, conflict is fun. No, I'm saying it's really destructive and pointless. But again, I don't know how else to... It's very difficult to have to play the game when somebody else is cheating. So this is the proper metaphor is you are playing for something very important, right? Let's just say you're in the arena fighting for huge stakes. So let's say that we change the rules of war. And so now it's going to be decided whether the North wins or the South wins in the Civil War, because we're going to send two gladiators into a boxing ring, into a ring. It's supposed to have rules and umpires and all that kind of stuff, and they're going to play the game out, and there'll be a winner and loser. So there's huge stakes involved, huge impact over who wins this game. And then you play this out. You could sort of understand if the other person starts spitting in the other guy's eye, or the brass knuckles are hidden under the glove, or they got Vaseline and all these other little cheats and tricks, that it's going to make for a hard game. It's going to, because the stakes are so high, that these cheats are going to create an atmosphere where the other guy's going to say, well, fuck you, well then fuck you, well then fuck you, well then fuck you. And it's going to get out of hand pretty quick. And you're not going to be fighting about the fight anymore. You're not going to, it's not going to be a boxing match. It's going to be I'll pull out my sword and just whap his head off. Finish him off. Get it over with. Get it done. Win. It doesn't matter anymore. Just get it done. Anyway, that's not a great metaphor for what we're really talking about, but anyway, it's close enough to good enough. So we're fighting this contest, having this argument, and I'm just going to keep pointing out the obvious, which I think is quite obvious, is that there's a difference between saying fuck you and saying I believe you are the spawn of ignoramuses who swam in cesspools littered with a high amount of ammonia. Or whatever, some kind of other kind of insult. And you just can't pretend the two makes any difference. I mean, any insult is an insult. I mean, if the person's smart enough to know he's been insulted, just because you veiled it, just because you covered it up and pretended and you fooled the crowd, so to speak, maybe you fooled the crowd that you didn't just insult the fuck out of the guy. Yeah, he was smart enough to smell the insult. He's close enough to smell the dog dew in your boxing glove. That's got to be recognized. And so there's a lot of people, even Antikantavad, I'd say, was horribly guilty of the pulling Hitler cards. He pulled the Depression card. He pulls all these little cards, these little gimmicks to distract the argument. I guess that's part of it too, is that you're in a debate and it's just so easy for somebody to start saying, well, weren't you convicted of tax evasion in 1973? It's like, it's so easy for somebody to say, okay, I'm losing the argument, let me change the subject. And they can just, and then you have to go on the defensive and explain how, no, that was bullshit, that was a guy with another name just like mine, but it wasn't me, he lived in the same town, but it wasn't me, blah, 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 blah. And why should you have to do that? And so there are tactics involved, I guess is the point I'm going to make. There's tactics. And I don't have tactics. Okay, I just don't. I just get insulted, and then I do what I think is appropriate, which is fuck you. That's my response to being insulted, is to say fuck you. And that's what I do. It's not complicated. It's not a complex tactic. I'm not strategically fuck youing. I'm reacting. Okay, and I think it's pretty obvious that there is no strategic changing of the subject. There's no strategic manipulation. No effort, at least not obvious, of attempting to put people on the defensive and say, to use these tactics of debate. I come with a straight thing. I want to get to a straight argument, and I get frustrated because I can't get that from people. I get some other argument. You make a thought experiment and somebody changes the rules of the thought experiment. That's just so grotesquely offensive. What's the point? I'm not doing this so you can change the rules and break the rules. So anyway, and then with me and Piero, of course, it's just a whole lot of years of bullshit. And there's just a point where you finally realize, what exactly have I got from this guy but a headache? Besides the headache, what did I get? Oh, yeah, I got a headache. So you just don't just say, fuck, it just isn't worth it. Yeah, there's just nothing here. There's not even any peanut butter in the sandwich here. There's no jelly, no peanut butter, no margarine, no nothing. It's, the bread even, it's wonder fucking bread. Sucks. Anyway. So I think that's enough of a point. I mean, we've been working on this. I've been talking about how to do this debate thing for over a year. I created a website, Bloggerdome, for the very purpose of trying to create a good debate arena. And nobody's helping in any way. Nobody's contributing anything in any way. Everybody's just ragging and saying, Gary doesn't play right. Yeah, why? Well, why? Because I don't use tactics. Because I don't veil my insults. Because I don't play your little witty, snarky, I'm a clever nerd games. Oh, forgive me. Yeah, I just come right out and say, fuck you. Whew, gee. What a brute. What a horror. Yeah, well, screw you and your pussy throwing icing at each other shit, your food fight crap. I got no patience for it. Yeah, that's all. But yeah, let's make the arena. Let's make the philosophical Olympics. Let's have it. Let's build it. But I don't see nobody helping. So I think you all seem pretty fucking lame to be bitching about the atmosphere when you're not willing to do anything to make it a good game. So I think if you had a good game, you'd fucking lose. If we had an Olympics, you'd lose. If we had umpires, you'd lose. I think that's the goddamn truth. Anyway, enough said. Till next time, and such.